Good morning, everyone. How are we all today? I hope you're all fine. I hope there's not going to be problems today, because a bit like young Reagan a week last night when he was doing his programme with Graham Price. My internet's been dropping off a day. I don't know what it is, but on my computer, my hardwired system seems to be fighting my Wi-Fi system. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, let's hope connectivity stays good. Okay, let's have a wee look and see who's in this morning. Good morning, Reagan Away, and you've given me a nice big long list. Morning, Melanie. Morning, Jim Soralwa. Morning, Doug Coop. Morning, Wake Up and Smell the Rosemaries. Hi, Rosie. Morning, Peter M. Tina Chalmers. Lydia Hendren. Oh, what's the wait? Morning, William Watson. Morning, Rosalind. Scott Haynes is in the house. Alexandra Rutherford's in the house, and C.L. Sutherland's in the house. Hi, Dukes. Charlotte. Scott. Good morning, Lorna. Morning, Martin the Hippie. Leipzig. What's this about Palestine action attacking a police officer with a sledgehammer? Aye, it's a story that's been battered about by the government. Whether it's true or not is a different story. Morning, John Baxter. Morning, Tina from Dundee. Morning, Duncan. Morning, Desiree. Ackies. Millie. Oh, another list for me for Reagan Elite. Hootsman. Robert Bruce. Stephen Bankier. Alex Adams in the house. You keep that up, Reagan Elite. Get you a job. Right, there's too many of you there. I'm sorry if I missed you this morning. Okay, I guess it's time to get this one underway. It's Indy Truck Davy out the truck and up home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is 7 degrees, overcast. There is rain in the forecast. Today's high will be 8 degrees. Humidity is at 81%. Wind speed, well, wind's up a day, folks. We're up there at 19 to 35 mile an hour. No quite. Just a wee bit blustery if you like. And there isn't a pollen count. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Hugh. Right, we'll get this one underway, folks. You know what the script is. I'll put the headlines up. I'll tell you the background of the story, if there is a background needed explained. And I'll tell you what I think about it. So here we go. First up this morning, the Scotsman. What's the Scotsman got for us today? And the Scotsman's got criminality fears over destruction of records. And this is Grey orders investigation into why a medical professional who's under investigations, records seem to have been destroyed. And the Health Minister, Neil Gray, he seems to think there's something not right here. So he's ordered an investigation into it. So here we have a healthcare professional who is, his name's Sam Iljam, who is under investigation for some sort of malpractice, and the NHS here in Scotland have lost his records. Wow. That's not good. That's not good at all. Especially if this guy's is carrying out malpractice, because until it's proved, he can't take his licence away. Maybe suspend him for practicing, but he can't take his licence away. which means you can move to other jurisdictions and practice. Right, let's get rid of the Scotsman. Next up will be the Herald. And the Herald is own scaremongering this morning, folks. According to the Herald, future GP services hangs in the balance. And according to the Herald, and God knows who else, but GP services, if the issues within GP services are not addressed, GP services will collapse in 3 years. Now, folks, as you know, Audit Office Scotland and all the rest of these fucking loon balls have been predicting the collapse of absolutely everything since devolution began. You'll also be aware that here in the UK, when it comes to public services and civil contract with the government and the people, Scotland has the best. And yet every day, these unionist fucking rags tell us that everything's falling to bits. I mean, if I had £1 for every time we were told we couldn't afford free prescriptions, we couldn't afford free travel for the young, we couldn't afford free travel for the over 60s, we couldn't afford free tuition fees, we couldn't afford a baby box, we couldn't afford to day away with peak rail fares, we couldn't afford to day away with road tolls. If I had £1 for every time one of these fucking spanners told us that we can't afford our services and they're due to collapse any minute, I'd donate it to the food banks the way you guys do. Over 101 services have been provided by the SNP government in 18 years which are not available in any other part of the UK, or weren't available in any other part of the UK when they were introduced. And yet here we have these people telling us day in, day out, our services are shite, they're about to collapse, they're unaffordable. And yet when we use these services, when we go about our ordinary day life, everything fucking works. Everything. This nonsense has got to stop. And this is the reason why we need to get out of this union. Because these unionist fuckwits are bad for our mental health. I've spent my whole life being dealt with these fuckwits that all the achievements of my people and my nation have been shite. We invented the modern world and these people tell us that we couldn't run a fucking tub. There would be no TV, no telephone, no ATMs. There would be no fucking rail. There would be no modern transport. There'd be no roads. To name just a few things, if it wasn't for Scotland. And when I say roads, I mean tarmac, Adam. If it wasn't for Scotland. There'd be no modern medicine if it wasn't for Scotland. And yet here we are being told day in, day out that we're fucking useless pieces of shit that can't achieve nothing. Wow. Do these people not understand that we can read fucking history? We know what our achievements have been. Thanks, brother. Let me know if you're still up for me. Sort my machine out for me, thanks. Thanks, Kirsty. Not being awfully generous. Thank you very much. You see, I'm fucking fed up with it. You know, day in, day out, I've got the BBC telling us our nation's shite. I've got the rags telling us we're nation shite. A wee bit different with commercial radio. They just play music and can't tell us we're shite because we're not tuning in. Fed up with it. if I said if a pound for every time I was told that our services were failing and that we're unaffordable, and the times I've been told you can't and we've done it anyway. Fucking nonsense. We're off to a flyer this morning, folks. Only a second rag in and I'm off in one. Right, next up we've got the rancid. What's the rancid got for us this morning? Dying shame. Funeral service went bust. Administration pays out 4p in the pound to 5,000 Scots. And there's a picture of Elizabeth, I believe it's Boyle on the front page, and she had paid £3,300 into a scheme to cover her funeral expenses. And when the funeral company went bust, she only got 4 pence back in the pound. Here's a bit of advice, folks. See, when you walk down the street, see how many dead bodies you see lying about. That's right, there's none. Don't worry your ass about funeral expenses. They've got to get rid of your corpse somehow. They're not going to leave it lying in the fucking street. Oh, unbelievable. Next up, we've got the scum. Where's the scum go? Clyro's US tour fury. And apparently Biffy Clyro and his agents didn't get their visa applications to the States right. I guess somebody must have realised they'd been slagging Trump off or something. So their US tours out the window at this point in time. As if we care. Now let's see what the Nationals go for us today. The National has. Labour are trying to run Scotch whisky into the ground. Don't know much about that. Amnesty. Genocide not over in Gaza despite ceasefire. What ceasefire? If I go into the news outlets right now and have a look, you can bet your boots at least 5 or 6 people were murdered in Gaza yesterday by the IDF. Main headline, Reeves blasted for arrogance after she says no Indiref. Where are you heading fucking wrapped in this, folks? We're heading for a 2029 plebiscite election. That's where we're going with this. Simultaneously, the Scottish Government should be launching a case in the European Court of Human Rights for a human rights violation against Westminster. Because they're denying our right to self-determination. The right to self-determination is a human right. So, at this point in time, the Scottish Government should be launching, in fact, it should have happened about 5 years ago, they should be launching a case in the European Court of Human Rights over our human rights violations being perpetrated on us by the neighbour next door, who won't respect our democracy, who won't respect the will of the people of Scotland, and who won't respect our right to choose. There's a reason why the people down there don't realise what's happening to them when we die. We're the oppressed. They are inadvertently the oppressors. The people of England don't know that, but they are. Because the governments they elect, no us, they elect, are denying us our human rights and ignoring our democratic will. Right, that's enough of that nonsense. Let's move on. But them some hard facts for people down south to think about. And while they're thinking about them, remember, if they can deny your fucking rights, they can deny yours too. Next up, we get a daily fail. And by the way, we're seeing the similar thing happen with human rights. There is a reason why they want to deny the people of these islands human rights. And it's got nothing to do with asylum. There's a reason why they're battening down the fucking hatches. You're getting ready for the civil unrest that comes down that road after we go. Or maybe they're batting down the hatches to ensure that we can go. But I think the first one's more likely. Because there isn't enough of them to fight us. There's no enough of them want to fight us. And their military, the UK military at this point in time, I could take them on with a fucking pea shooter and beat them. Fuck. So they're no battening down for a fight. They're battening down for civil unrest. Civil unrest they are creating within their own borders. So quite serious, that one. Right, what's this got? The daily fail. The brain drain from Starmer's socialist chaos. This fucking rag and other rags remind me of people of today who purport to be on the left but don't understand what the left is. Starmer couldn't be any further away from a socialist. The young vlogger I was talking about down that road. And apparently he wasn't chuffed and thinks I'm a nutter. Well, on the bright side, fine guy, I'm an educated fucking nutter. The brain drain from Starmer's socialist chaos. There is a brain drain, folks. And as I explained yesterday afternoon, migration's down by 80% on the record high of 2023. And for every 100,000 less people come in, the Treasury takes in £7 billion less. The 300,000 people who should have rocked up on our shores last year but didn't are going to create a £21 billion black hole and a headache for Rachel Reeves next year. A real headache. Let's get that done. What stupid is as stupid does. You've got a woman leading up the Chancellery who thinks the UK finances are like a household finance. Fucking idiot. But saying that, I've got a whole cupboard for them down that road. They call it the cabinet. It's where they store the fucking idiots. When it comes to electing representatives, it would appear that people of England put their village idiots up instead of the best of them. Well, I'm on the ball today, folks. Crabbit, grumpy old guy. Really on the go. You reach out to Van Man if you want. If he wants to talk about political philosophy and what the left and right is, I'm quite happy to educate him. Right, where we go? Swinney stays stum over tax hike for Scots. And according to this rag, there's going to be some stealth taxes. I don't think this rag quite understands devolution. I don't think this rag quite understands devolution. Jesus. If you're going to have stealth taxes, you have to have the power over things like tobacco, petrol, alcohol. None of these things, none of these duties are within our gift. Wow. But it is the Express after all. We do call it the loony rag for a reason. Because it's actually printed specifically for half-wits. Specifically for half-wits. Using language, which is that basic. It's the sort of thing you see written on a corridor wall when you come to a left or right turn. You know, coming to the end of the day, you come to the end of the corridor, it either goes one way or goes the other, or maybe even goes both. You get the signs saying go right, go left. That's the sort of language being used to explain how the world works to fucking half-wits in the Daily Express. Wow, I'm really grumpy today, aren't I? Really grumpy today. The Times. 1 day protection of workers abandoned. PM. Yeah, never mind. Folks, those who watch this programme will know I said after Angela Rayner went, that'll be the end of the fucking workers' rights bill, or it'll be watered down. I need to stop predicting things. I really do need to stop predicting things. Here you go anyway. Apparently, another Labour manifesto pledge broken. They're racking up, folks. Grangemouth, tax, workers' rights. They're racking up. Honestly, Larry. Huh? Let's get this nonsense done. So Labour breaking manifesto pledges. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? Has nobody been paying attention to this guy Starmer? What was it? 10 pledges. 5 missions. Following Corbyn's ideas. Oh, at the Monday. Oh, he turned his back not all. Money he was in power. True colours. Fascist. And he's running a fascist regime. Which is picking pensioners up off the street for holding bits of cardboard and criminalising them. Which is gerrymandering the legal system. We're witnessing that in the Palestine Action Judicial Review. And of course you've got David Lammy down that road and the Home Secretary down that road, Shabana Mahmood, talking about getting rid of jury trials so that you're judged by the state rather than your peers. This is fascism, folks. Wonderful stuff. Right after the Times we get a Telegraph. When you're a commentator on this stuff, it would be nice to say these are interesting times, but they're not. Starmer rips up Rayner's rights bill. Rack one up to Davies' predictions, will you? Next up, we'll get the Metro. What's the Metro go for us? The Metro explains why England's failing as a nation, as a state. It explains why unemployment's high down that road. It explains all sorts of things that are running down that road. Well, let's put it up. Only 204,000 more people are living in the UK. PM hails big migration fall. But that's because the PM is a fucking idiot. No doubt while the PM's hailing it, the Chancellor was under her desk crying like fuck. Because the black hole she's just filled has just opened up into a gaping fucking chasm. Economic illiteracy, these fucking people. Who let these nut jobs? Who gave these nut jobs access to the levers of power? Of course, we know who it was. You know. In fact, I think Liebsen was watching them this morning. What is it they call it now? Politics social? Did that not used to be Labour social? Is that not the group that led up? Vote Labour, get rid of the Tories. Well, those of us who could actually see were shouting, the red Tories, you spanners. Vote some other way. And I am touchy this morning. I get touchy when gross stupidity's in front of me. 21 billion out of the UK economy next year. And the PM hails it as a roaring success. I guess he'll be hailing Brexit as a roaring success and all. The drop of 4% to 5% of GDP. The cost of living crisis is no doubt a success. These people are economic fucking illiterates. Economic illiterates. And the Chancellor thinks running the UK is like running a household budget. Wow. No wonder they're fucking economic illiterates. And while we're at it, why is the Bank of England still independent? Rachel, get a fucking grip. You're supposed to be an ex-employee of the Bank of England. Do you not know how fucking it works? Spanner, take it back into government. Put it back in the hands of the Treasury. DJ Marcy, I'm not criticising politics local. Or whatever they call it now. Truth social, whatever they call it now. What option did the people of England have? They don't have an SNP. Because their version of the SNP is called Reform. And they're the fucking BNP. And they were outlawed. They're just back with a new name. Just back with a new name. God, I'm grumpy this morning, folks. I'm sorry. There's a lot of nonsense in the papers today, though. And it's been a rough couple of days. It's been a rough couple of days. So it has. Right, next up we'll get The Guardian. It's been a rough couple of days. Right, Minister ditch manifesto pledge for job protections from day one. Let me correct that headline for The Guardian. Ministers break manifesto pledge. No ditch, break manifesto pledge for job protection from day one. The Guardian, being purportedly of the left, pulling this pish, need to get their act together. Ministers haven't ditched a manifesto pledge. They've broken a manifesto pledge. let's get this stuff right. And when a government ditches its manifesto the minute it's in the door, and they've ditched most of it, then it's time for another election. And it's time we get back to the point where our politics is about presenting manifestos to the people and let the people make a choice. And let's regulate the press so that when they're reporting on politics, they're fair and balanced. And when these manifestos are published, that the papers report on them fairly and balancedly, so that the people can make good decisions. But we're in a point in time where political parties don't put a prospectus in front of the people. They put a big fucking pamphlet of nonsense with pledges, with nae workings, nae costings, nae fuck all. None of that stuff anymore. You used to get a manifesto, it was that fucking thick. And issue by issue, they break down the costs on their pledges and things like that. Not real. I'll tell you what, Rosie, I didn't see Mar loving the budget. But as I say, to be fair, under the circumstances, it was probably the best that could be done. Especially when you think you're sitting at your ma's kitchen table trying to balance a checkbook, the stupid people. Fuck. Okay. Right. Next up we'll get the eye. Let's get rid of the Guardian. Get the eye up. Quality of the press is getting poorer and poorer week by week, folks. Labour U-turn on workers' rights as PM denies budget tax rise break promise. He is a liar. I explained yesterday afternoon where the breach in the promise on taxation on workers was committed. It was on savings and pensions and national insurance. So, we're used to lies. We really are used to lies. Coming out of that place down that road. Manifesto pledges broken. First one I can think of is Grangemouth. That's the first one. I'll need to sit and make a list. Because 3, that doesn't sound right. Oh no, of course, with the green stuff and all. That'd have been second one, eh? The 30 billion a year and to supercharge the UK economy with the green revolution. When David and I are sitting explaining to you that actually construction phases are very, very short and it takes not very many people to run these places once construction phase is finished. And even the construction phase isn't labour intensive. I've explained how just outside Shotts we threw up an 18 turbine wind farm in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. It's not very labour intensive. Guy comes along with a digger, digs a hole in the ground. Some ground workers come along, trap of metals, reinforced cage in the ground. Truck driver pulls up with his mixer truck, pours on the cement. A couple more guys come along and stick a big pole onto that cement. And a couple more come along with a crane and stick a fucking dynamo and stop it. It's not labour intensive. No real. So when we talk about manifesto pledges, if I actually took time to think about it, like the Green New Deal and all that shite, there's hundreds of them. 30 billion a year to supercharge the UK economy on green energy. Just shows you how daft some people are. Actually believe this stuff. Oh, no real. Right, folks, thanks very much again for tuning in large numbers. 1 minute to go, as you know. The book's done, so that indicates the star's next. So what nonsense is the star got for us a day to we get out of here? Ran out a wee bit into Reagan Elite's programme again. Yeah. Jack Plot's huge comeback. I'm a celeb. Get me big telly deal. He secretly filmed new show about paranormal. And apparently this is some geezer called Jack Osborne, who's living on the coattails of his famous father, somebody called Ozzy Osbourne. But unfortunately, since his father's passed, he can't ride in the tail of his coat anymore. There you go. Jack Osborne, whoever the hell he is really, is talking about making a comeback into television. I've not seen what he's produced before, and I'm not really interested. Okay, right guys, thanks very much. Reagan Elite's on right after me right now. You'll be sitting waiting me hanging this thing up. And remember, Daily Plaza the night, folks, 5 o'clock, the Friday Frolics. Always fun. I only get to see about 30 minutes of it before I go to work, but I listen to the whole show, and it's always great fun. I'll see you all on Monday. Have a great weekend. I've got things to be getting on with. Bye for now.